Hey everybody, Brant here with Nutrition First Coaching, and in today's video, we're going to dispel the last 3 myths of losing body fat. One's going to be about speeding up your metabolism and how that's been debunked over the years. And the other 2 have to do with exercise and resistance training versus the dreaded cardio. So let's get into those myths, let's debunk them, let's keep arming you with knowledge on how to lose body fat. Here we go. I have to say, these are 3 of my favorite myths and or mistakes here. As we wrap up this series, I think the first one, and something that I've always tried to abide by in my life, is look at the evidence, be able to change your mind when it comes down to something. And if you think you just live by this rule, reevaluate it every once in a while. Make sure it's the truth, make sure it's actually working for you. And that's where this first myth kind of got busted for me. And that's because when I first started working with people, not only did I believe this is what it was believed in the industry, was that if you wanted to speed up your metabolism, so eating small meals throughout the day is better for weight loss because it speeds up your metabolism. It's going to stoke that metabolic fire. It's going to make you burn more calories because inherently food is thermodynamic, and so we have to burn some calories in order to digest and assimilate the food. Sure, that makes a lot of sense, but that's like saying, oh, I just had to buy this thing. I went and bought these new shoes because they were 50% off. So it was like I saved money because they were only $60 instead of 120. Well, you still spent $60. So yeah, you got a new pair of shoes, but you had to buy something in order to do that. And that's like saying you're eating these calories, but you're going to burn so many more calories that you're actually going to lose weight eating 4,000 calories a day. It's just not true. And that's been debunked. And that's been shown too, that no matter whether you eat 1 meal a day or what's called the OMAD diet, or whether you eat in this study up to 17 times a day, which I don't even know how they did that. That's nuts to think. That's a full-time job of eating, basically. So whether you're a snacker and a grazer, or whether you like to eat just one big meal or kind of compress everything into a 4 to 6 hour window and have a couple meals in there, it doesn't matter in terms of your metabolism and in terms of fat loss. Of course, it's going to make a big difference when it comes down to satiety in your nutrition plan. And if you're trying to lose weight and you're in a calorie deficit, yeah, you might be really hungry. And so you'd think, oh, okay, if I eat a lot more frequent meals, that'll keep me from being hungry. Well, you're wrong again. And I would have thought the same thing. But now they've proved in studies, the people that ate bigger meals and were more satisfied from those meals for longer periods of time made them feel better throughout the day than eating these smaller, maybe less satisfying meals and not really getting full. And so they've kind of felt like they were always hungry and always thinking about food. So the satiety was lowered with the more frequent meals. What it comes down to is figure out what works best with your schedule, with your body, and with your personality. And that's what I do with all my clients. If you don't like to eat breakfast that much, then let's figure out how to minimize breakfast for you. Let's get a bigger lunch in there. Let's get our protein working each time you eat, so that you're not dependent on eating these huge, massive amounts of protein at meals to try to get your protein in. Whatever works for you with your schedule is going to help, because you're going to be more compliant with it. And that's kind of the bottom line there. All right, myth number 9. You have to exercise or you can't lose weight. This is the old perpetuating myth of you got to just grind away. It's going to, if you want to lose weight, you're looking at 6 to 8 hours a week grinding away in the gym, or going for long runs where you're just trudging along in the heat. And that's not true. If there's one thing you can control when it comes to weight loss, it's your nutrition. And if you're controlling your nutrition, you're in a calorie deficit. If you don't move that much throughout the day, you look at your watch at the end of the day and you've taken 3,000 steps because you were in meetings all day, or you're job is very computer based and you've been sitting there for a long time, as long as you're in a calorie deficit and you're eating the right nutrition, quantity, quality stuff, then you can still lose weight, of course. Now, if we're talking optimum health, yeah, exercise and the right kind of exercise is going to maximize that. It's going to expedite weight loss and it's going to maintain muscle, which are all the things we want. But you don't have to exercise to lose weight. So that one we're just going to blow out of the water right there. Nutrition matters more, not exercise. You know, the saddest thing I can think of when it comes to this is to look at how many calories are in a brownie. 300-ish calories, depending on the size of the brownie, up to maybe 400 or 500 calories. And if you eat that brownie, you'd have to exercise for at least an hour at a relative high intensity to even try to, erase or earn those calories. So it's kind of a losing game all along. Your body can't handle that stress. You don't have the time to do that all the time. Eventually it's going to cause some kind of problem, whether it's an injury, whether it's lack of sleep. Something's going to go wrong if you're trying to out-exercise a bad diet. So concentrate on your nutrition first. That's the thing you can control the most. If life's kind of taking over and you don't have time to exercise, a very minimal amount of exercise or movement can keep you healthy, but the nutrition plan is going to keep you losing weight. All right, number 10, cardio is better for resistance training than fat loss. Oof, this is a tough one. Everybody thinks, and this has been perpetuated for years, kind of started in the 80s and has grown ever since, that you just got to go through these grinding long cardio workouts to burn fat. And the only way you can do that is monostructural work, which is like running, swimming, biking, elliptical, Stairmaster, you name it. It's got to be this, okay, let's grind away. Everything's got to be cardiovascular. You got to get your heart rate up to 70% of your max and keep it there. This long, slow distance type of stuff. Now, it's just not true. What is the most effective thing for fat loss and to improve body composition? That's to build muscle. So you need to have some resistance training in there. Resistance training is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, so to speak. But if you have time to do resistance training and do some monostructural cardiovascular work as well, that's the ideal thing. As you'll see if you read the article with this video, they did a study. They took 3 groups. One group did just resistance training, one group did just cardiovascular work, and then one group combined resistance training and cardiovascular work. And the exact amounts and all that stuff are in the article. But essentially what they found was the resistance training group didn't lose the most weight, but they did lose a good amount of body fat. The cardio only group lost a good amount of weight, but they also lost a good amount of what we call lean mass or muscle tissue because they weren't maintaining muscle. And the group that did the best was the group that did resistance training to maintain or even gain a little muscle and the cardiovascular work to help with metabolizing some fat and burning that for energy. So the ideal thing is combining some resistance training with a good knowledgeable program, a good structured program, and then a little cardiovascular work. And that could be as easy as like walking 2 or 3 days a week for some cardio work, a nice brisk walk, or walking 5 days a week because you're walking the dog all the time. And then you're doing some resistance training, so some lifting 3 or 4 days a week, and it doesn't take that much time. And you can really improve your fitness and your ability to lose body fat by combining those 2 modalities together. So this kind of wraps up our 10 myths on and mistakes on fat loss. And it should arm you with some really good knowledge, probably more knowledge than a lot of people that are educated in these areas would have, because you don't have to listen to the crap on social media. You don't have to listen to the bros and the people at the gym. You know what is true and what is tested and what is scientifically proven. And so now you're learning the best practices to make your weight loss journey that much more comfortable and that much easier to maintain when things get tough and you want to revert to some of these easier habits that you've been used to over the years. In the next series, we're going to talk about the 10 myths and mistakes around exercise and building muscle. And I think some of those will shock you as well. So hopefully you got something out of these videos. If you did, and you have some friends that are maybe passing some of these myths and mistakes along to people, forward them the video. Hopefully they'll learn a little bit from it. And in this next series, I think you'll learn something about exercise, building muscle, resistance training, and what to do that's going to really push you along and maximize your fat loss effectively and make it to where it's leading to a very healthy and sustainable lifestyle. All right, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Let us know if you have any questions on other stuff. We'll keep throwing in some other videos as well. Have a great day.